So Vegeta's character is getting a lot of character development, especially from the end of the Buu Saga and what we're seeing in Dragon Ball Super. How's it going, guys? So here we have episode 7 of Dragon Ball Super. So now this episode picks right up where the last episode left off with, Beerus obliterating, completely annihilating Buu. There's a huge, supernova coming out of the water where Buu was basically laid to waste. And all we have is Vegeta just basically staring at him in fear, and he's sweating like a pig. They make an emphasis within this episode to show how much sweat is pouring off of Vegeta's body. But basically with this episode we have all of the other Z fighters joining in to basically combat Beerus, because right now Beerus is pissed because he didn't get to eat any of the pudding. So Buu licked it all, so Beerus is pissed. And we have first Buu comes back up from the water. He's super pissed, and I love the voice actor because this is the voice of Buu that I'm so used to, the very high-pitched, whiny, annoying Buu, and hearing him about to go in. And remember, the Buu Saga, Buu was really strong, and just to be able to see how Beerus is able to push him aside like Buu is nothing shows the power gap between Beerus and all of our other Z fighters. So now Buu goes in, he does absolutely nothing. And then we actually get to see Goten and Trunks perform the fusion dance, and we get Gotenks within this episode. He goes up there and, being all cocky, just the way Gotenks is, with the combination of Goten and Trunks, goes in expecting to do so much damage, but as it turns out, he's nothing compared to the destroyer of worlds, Beerus, and Beerus just basically disciplines him. And I love the little spot within this episode when Beerus has given him his philosophy on food and what happens when he misses out on feasting on it. The faces he was making and his expressions were very funny, and I loved him slapping Gotenks on the wrist. And it's very interesting too, because in the dub, they don't usually tend to use curses or profanity within these episodes, but they actually use dumbass within this episode, and that just kind of fit with Gotenks' character, being a combination of Goten and of course Trunks, them saying that as they're mouthing off to Beerus, and then he gets disciplined, gets shoved aside really, really quickly. And then we just have Piccolo, Tien, and 18 all rise up, and they go to try to battle him, and Beerus makes quick work of them. Honestly, I don't even know why they went in after Gotenks wasn't able to do anything, because technically Gotenks is, compared to Buu, and then of course Gohan, who comes in a little bit later, is one of the strongest fighters out there. And if he's unable to do anything, I'm not sure why Tien, 18, and Piccolo think that when all three of them can go up there, could absolutely do something. But another interesting part within this episode is we actually get to see a lot of Dende, looking at Beerus, and he's actually able to sense the God Key. Being the guardian of Earth now, I think it comes with a little more perks and a little more power-ups, where he's able to sense the power that Beerus has, and that's when he comes to realize that Beerus is in fact a god. And I just gotta point out within this episode, I think the introduction of Beerus and Whis within Dragon Ball Super, and of course within the movies as well, I think it's a great addition, because Beerus has me I love his character, but Whis overall I think is my favorite introduction. He's the highlight of Dragon Ball Super for me. I think he's my favorite character that's been introduced, new characters wise, I think in a while, because Whis I find so funny. I love it when he's getting food from the connoisseur who's making him the sushi and stuff. He's fangirling over all of the ingredients and the sauces and the sushi, and I was I love his character. It's one of my favorite characters to be introduced, and I think Whis is probably my favorite within Dragon Ball Super currently right now. And the voice actor that does Whis' voice, I think, does an amazing job. But Gohan actually gets some spotlight within this episode. He's not much of a fighter, but he's helping Videl with Hercule, because Hercule got KO'd last episode, and he's healing him up. And even Gohan realizes the situation, saying this guy is no joke. And I think him and Vegeta are the only ones that really recognize the situation. But Gohan eventually powers up. He gets a mystic form going around him. He powers up, goes in to attack Beerus, but with Buu, he just takes Buu and slaps Gohan away, and basically Gohan does nothing. And it kind of sucks that Gohan's been reduced to such a terrible fighter at this point. And I'm really hoping that later on in the series, Gohan gets some shine, because I really want to see Gohan go in, because when he was versing Cell, Teen Gohan is one of my favorite characters, and I would play as his character a lot in the video games, because that is my favorite design, favorite character, and favorite form of Super Saiyan. So being able to see him go in, it sucks seeing him getting KO'd like that, but it is what it is. So then we have Vegeta actually manning up. He's getting past his fears, and he actually powers up to Super Saiyan and goes in to attack Beerus, but ends up doing nothing at all. And then we actually have a really cool juxtaposition, I would say, from a previous episode, with Vegeta remembering his father, Vegeta, being under Beerus's boot. And we actually get the same thing with Beerus putting this Vegeta underneath his boot, and it's good parallels, good foreshadowing, or like mirroring the events that happened in his past with his father, and now it's happening to him being under Beerus's boot. And even Beerus points this out. And I love the dialogue that Beerus had there saying, like, all of you Saiyans, or at least with Vegeta's family, sitting on top of a fake throne or whatever. I'm paraphrasing it, but I love the dialogue that was within that part. I think the dub is doing a great job. And then Beerus goes to destroy this, and this is what baffles me too about this part. I mean, Bulma goes in and slaps him. Bulma goes in and slaps Beerus, and it makes me wonder, it's like, Bulma, weren't you not just seeing every one of the fighters getting KO'd left and right? What makes you think that you walking up to Beerus as he's about to destroy the world is going to do anything? And I mean, she's got some balls on her. I mean, that's why Vegeta married her, because she's got the cojones to, like, basically talk back to the Prince of All Saiyans, but she's got some serious nerve going up to Beerus, and that's just why Bulma's very headstrong and a very abrasive character, and that's kind of like why we like her in a way. But she gets, like, basically pimp slapped by Beerus at that point, and you know, Vegeta's on there saying, like, don't do it, Beerus, and once he does it, this is when he pisses off the Prince. Vegeta saying that, like, iconic line, "You hit my Bulma, how dare you do that to my Bulma," and he powers up, he gets the lightning aura around him, and he's about to go in, and that's basically where the episode ends. I mean, this is a very simple episode, you know, and then it's not really like, the animation here and there is wonky, I mean, sometimes, but sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, but overall, I'm still enjoying the English dub in general, because it brings me back to my childhood. I love hearing these voices, and I think they're doing a great job adapting Dragon Ball Super into an English dub, and I'm really enjoying it. So I actually want to hear from you guys. What was your favorite part of this episode? Did you like seeing, you know, Vegeta actually getting out of his fears, and once Bulma got slapped, seeing him power up? I actually got some chills as, like, the scene was going on, so it definitely had an emotional weight to it. I think it probably could have done a little bit better. I hate how it ended just right there. I would have liked to actually see Vegeta actually just power up and go in just a little bit on Beerus, but I think we're beginning that next episode. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys thought of the English dub of episode 7, and how are you guys enjoying Whis and Beerus as characters? So leave that in the comments as well. That's it for my review. I'm looking forward to reviewing episode 8 next week, and until then, I'll talk with you guys in my episode 8 review next week. All right, guys, see you later.